Good morning. Welcome to PWR Today, Tuesday morning, June 16th, 2020. It's the man they call Meathead. How you doing, everybody? Welcome to PWR Today, Tuesday morning. You know, as we said yesterday with Linda, the best part of waking up is a little meathead in your cup. Now, because, Dave Hero is not as attractive, say, as Linda Kay. Linda Kay's back. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning, Meathead. A little meathead in your cup, a little Folgers in your cup. What else do we need in a cup?
Well, I mean, as long as it's not that urine from Friday.
Well, I was going to say two chicks. Oh, no, that's something else.
Whoa, wrong video. Linda. People are driving on the freeway. They're watching traffic, and they heard you talking about two chicks in a cup.
Sorry. I'm a little shoot hot from my computer here. I was having some issues, but I'm good. I'm on it. We're going to talk Raw. I'm feeling just fine.
We're going to get raw with Linda. All right. So, again, make sure you're liking and subscribing to all the videos, on all your podcasting channels, the Spotify, the Stitcher, Apple Podcasts. You can get it YouTube, Facebook, Fight TV, all those good ones. Make sure you're liking and subscribing so you can get an update when the shows are popping. And again, we're here in the morning helping you on your drive time. Get into work. Hopefully we didn't cause an accident with Linda and her two cups and two girls, or, what kind of videos she watches.
Let's talk about Raw.
Yeah, let's get Raw. All right. So last night's Raw, I didn't hate it. I mean, I know we have a new lower standard for what we're watching now in sports entertainment because of the whole COVID era, as they're calling. It's funny. They had the, WWF era. They had the Attitude Era. They had the Ruthless Aggression area. We've got the COVID area now, but I didn't hate it. Your overall thoughts before we kind of get into it on Raw last night. Linda Kay. Seems we've lost Linda for just a bit here. We'll kind of go on. Raw from last night was not bad. Here's why. And before we go into the matches, yes, we had a repeat match. We had Asuka and Nia Jax. Yes, we had Angel Garza going up against Kevin Owens with
Can
more
you hear
talk.
Me now?
I can hear you now. All right. So what I had started off by saying is I didn't hate Raw. Your overall thoughts before we get into the matches.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. Some things made me laugh. Some things made me shocked. I was in the whole time. Honestly, I was more into tonight's Raw than Backlash this week.
It's not that big a surprise, and again, I don't know where you cut out on us, but, we had the WWF, Hulkamania era. We had the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression era, the COVID era is what we're in now. And I know we have a lower standard for what it comes to sports entertainment, but last night was entertaining to me in this particular era.
Right. I mean, it started off hot with Orton coming out, challenging Christian for that unsanctioned match.
Well, yeah. Oof,
I like
that. Well, the stipulations to that bother me a little bit, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah, but I did like how it kind of left us guessing throughout the entire episode. So that was good. And seeing a little feud with Christian and Randy Orton was kind of nice to see, and some familiar faces, if you will.
Yeah, not expected. A bit of a surprise. And we got build and drama throughout the entire night, which ended up leading to what we'll get to when we get to it, but a match between Orton and Christian Cage, or Christian, or Jay, as Big Show called him. So, I mean, it was kind of ironic or iconic, but, you also had Ric Flair in there a couple times too. I mean, he talks to Charlotte, he talks to Christian, he talks to Randy Orton. I mean, this was a different show. And how many segments did we have with McIntyre, R-Truth, MVP, and Bobby Lashley tonight?
Right.
Which I didn't hate.
Yeah, it definitely keeps you more interested, more on the edge of your seat, just to kind of see what would happen in the end. I mean, we had the comedy factor with R-Truth. We had a little bit more comedy again with the tag teams and with the ninjas. And then, like you said, seeing Ric Flair on various segments throughout, and you knew he was going to be involved somehow. You knew, but can I just get to what my favorite part of the night was? Of
course.
Okay. It had to have been the MVP Bobby Lashley Lana segment. Now, here's why. Well, one reason why. So, in the previous years, as you mentioned a little bit ago, the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, we heard lots of women being called different names, rather degrading or more sexual or just not in good taste, so to
Right.
speak. But never in the PG era or the COVID era would I ever think I'd hear thought. That made me pop.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, and for a man who said he retired, and I'm glad to have him back. Please don't get me wrong. Montel Vontavious Porter, I'm happy to see you on a weekly basis. You are something I stop and watch currently.
Oh, yeah.
I'm happy to have you back. For a man that retired, because right after WrestleMania, he said he retired. How many matches has he had?
Well, with appearances, he's on at least every week, but definitely a handful of matches.
And it's fine. I understand what job he's doing. He's there to take, whatever is coming from the face, where he hypes up his heel and then he takes the brunt. He's the guy that's doing all the work and taking all the abuse. I get it. But why did you say you retired? That just didn't make me. It confuses me. I'm a simple man. I like simple things. And that's
He's
not
a
simple.
simple kind of man.
That's right. Well, that, and I'm also, he's a man, such a man. Yeah, that's me.
Well, we also have had Rey Mysterio, Ric Flair, both on the show tonight that have retired numerous times too. So
Sure. Rey Mysterio, we could see his eye.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that. The camera was too good tonight, way too high of definition. We might have been in 4K for a minute because I saw his eyeball. Isn't it supposed to be covered?
I mean, it was, but just not enough. But this is a career-threatening eye injury, not a career-ending. So
Gotcha. It's not like it popped out.
Oh no.
Well, hey, opening segment real quick. Then we touched on it, but we'll come back to it. Randy Orton did exactly what Shane Helms said. He became the winner of the greatest wrestling match ever, and now he's the greatest wrestler ever. And he doesn't need a title to prove that he is. And Christian came out and says, you're not going to do that to him. Randy Orton, this is a believable Randy Orton heel to me because what he is saying absolutely makes sense. You came into my ring, I have to destroy you. You did this. It's your fault.
Right.
So I couldn't believe it when I heard it. Randy Orton says, you know what? I know you're not medically cleared. How about an unsanctioned match? Keep the liability out of there. You want to go with me? Let's go. But I warn you, I'm going to hurt you. Could you believe that Christian was contemplating getting in the ring?
Yeah, and when he was on the phone before, I'm assuming he was speaking to his wife. But he's got his best friend Edge, and we saw what happened to Edge at Backlash, so he had to defend Edge's honor and
his own honor. Let's be completely clear
that's
here.
True. Yes.
Randy Orton called him out, and without saying he was a punk bitch, he called him a punk bitch.
Oh.
He never said it, but he's saying it.
Well, he got called a son of a biscuit, if you will. So Randy had it.
Biscuits and gravy?
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy.
And he then said, I'll tell you what you want, what you really, really want. And that's one more match. And he technically
I thought you were about to get Spice Girl on me.
Oh, yeah. That's what I kind of added something to that. But but he did get that match. And are we going to talk about the match, or are we going to go more with Raw?
We can talk about the match. I don't have to be sequential. It's fine. Let's talk about the match here. Here's my problems with the match and what I liked about the match.
Okay.
It's funny that Randy Orton says, do you know what an unsanctioned match is? Because I don't think Randy Orton does, or at least WWE doesn't. Unsanctioned means there shouldn't be a ring announcer. There shouldn't be a referee. They shouldn't ring the bell. There shouldn't be a pin count. And there shouldn't be a winner. It's unsanctioned. There shouldn't be any of that stuff there. But we had it all. Now, I like the entire match, which was a punt to Christian's head after a low blow from the Nature Boy, the dirtiest player in the game. Big Nate, as Little Nate was refereeing Randy Orton's match last night.
Right.
I liked all of it, except for the fact that if you're going to call it unsanctioned, make it unsanctioned.
Right. But I'm still kind of confused because, Randy Orton just telling the EMTs to take care of him, and then also you shouldn't have done this to Christian, and he was just kind of back and forth with that. And
Well,
I
those are
was
the
thinking,
voices in his head. They
yeah,
talk to him. They understand.
yes, that's true. But what I didn't get, I mean, I don't know if you caught part of Raw talk, but it started with Randy still talking to Christian, saying,
He
and to
helped him.
EMTs, take care.
He
Yeah, he
helped
kept
him
saying
with the
take care of him.
EMTs.
But
If
it
it
was
doesn't
funny
say Bell
because,
on his side, he got taken for a
oh,
ride.
yes, Bell Ambulance plug there. But when Raw talk was on, they still had him on the stretcher, didn't have that sense of urgency to take him in back. So I'm like, I hope he's really okay, but sounds like from what Samoa Joe said in Raw Talk that he's probably not. So I don't know. I wonder, like, what's next with Randy? Is the Legend Killer gimmick gonna come back to life right now?
Because he asked, "Do you think that Christian's a legend?" I think he's a legend too.
Yes.
Got to be killed. And to be honest, the reason they probably weren't moving so fast from Bill Ambulance, one of the EMTs had to be like 12.
I
Maybe
saw
13
that.
years old.
I was thinking that too. I was like, oh, all right.
I mean, they don't have paper routes for kids anymore, so be an EMT.
Absolutely.
Kevin Owens and Angel Garza tonight. Obviously, we get Selena Vega. There's a little backstage segment with Andrade as well. This is building towards someone leaving Selena Vega's side. Who leaves? Your opinion right now, who does Selena Vega stay with?
I would think it would be Andrade because they came in together and have grown together. He's become a champion while they've been together. But for some reason, I feel like a face turn happening with Andrade. And I feel that Angel Garza is a little more in his, I don't say his prime, but just a little more, I don't know, just more of in his highest moments right now where I feel like they could move with him more, do stuff with him more.
Well, I would love that because you know whose team he's on. The team they call Meatheads.
Well, I do have Selena Vega, though.
There you go. You can get an appearance while I get a title win.
Yeah.
So
well,
that'll be
it's
fun.
still something.
But yeah, it's going to happen. I think that they're going to keep Selena Vega with Angel Garza, which would be fine. I think Selena Vega is doing amazing work during the COVID era, as we're calling it. She has been an MVP, no pun intended, of the Raw brand, and she's there to work, and she's there to work every day. So I really do appreciate her being there. Kevin Owens wins the match. Andrade gave Garza an opportunity, missed it. A little bit of arguing between the two of them. Honestly, I think from what I listened to, maybe Zelina Vega is trying to get them to be a tag team. I don't know if that's going to happen, but let's talk about backstage. One of multiple segments with Bobby Lashley, R-Truth, and MVP. MVP backwardly talks himself into defending both championships in the main event or in the match that he's going to have with Drew McIntyre as his partner. And if MVP or Bobby Lashley get a pinfall, whoever they pin, they get that belt. Later on in the night, you hear that, oh, no, don't worry, player. I talked to the office. We're good. The powers that be said we're only putting up the WWE Championship, not my baby. So if MVP or Bobby Lashley got a pin on R-Truth, they'd still be the WWE champion. R-Truth, we know, is scared of ninjas, so that's why he was hiding under the fake ring. I really thought they should have done more with the ring, and you could have had him in a ring waiting for the match and never be around. That would have been funny.
Well, when MVP challenged him for when it was a winner-take-all match still, I was thinking, can't the 24/7 title, be open, live, taken anytime? But I was like, all right, they're going to make this a cool thing here, a tag team match for both championships. But then that didn't happen, and I was like, okay. And then we get to the part where, what you just discussed with R-Truth telling Drew McIntyre that it's just his title. I'm like, okay. But with the ring and the ninjas, with Akira Tozawa. Akira Tozawa and his troops.
Full spoiler alert, I have the name in front of me right now.
I made sure to recite it numerous times. I'm like, I'm getting redemption. Akira Tozawa.
So Linda Kay is sitting in the mirror right before she puts on the podcast in the morning going, Akira Tozawa, Akira Tozawa. If you say it 3 times, he's going to appear.
I thought it's 5 times.
I don't know. I haven't watched the movie lately. I mean, unless we're talking about Beetlejuice or Candyman, I'm not really sure.
Okay. But
Speaking
yeah,
of Akira Tozawa, I was going to say the Viking Profits in
yes.
a 8-man match, 4-on-4. Akira Tozawa plus 3 ninjas, unnamed, versus the Viking Profits. This was what it was. Now, I forgot to mention this to you yesterday morning on the Backlash show. The second I saw the super tall ninja, I'm like, is that Shaquille O'Neal? No,
Hmm.
there's no Superman tattoos on his arm. All right. Because, Shaq Fu, that would be totally up Shaq's line, or it's totally up his
Yes.
alley to be a ninja. But again, you want to take advantage of him and have him demask, and all of a sudden it's Shaq. But no, that guy's not Shaq at all. And Shaq's in better shape than this guy was.
Yeah.
Uh, I would have loved for it to be, though. And technically, we're wrestling fans, so we're supposed to forget about what we saw. They could slide Shaq into that spot. I mean, they're really good.
Absolutely. I mean, especially with WWE trying to appeal more to the masses and the casual wrestling fan, that could have been something right there.
Yeah, let's talk about Liv Morgan and Natalya versus the Iconics. Iconics run right over Liv Morgan and Natalya. Natalya has something to say about Liv Morgan in the background, kind of a heel Natalya, and it's ironic because we talk about the Bobby Lashley asking Lana for a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Lana is back there with Natalya. Are they going to do something now?
That's what I'm assuming. I don't know if you ever watched the early Total Divas days.
What is Total Divas? Is that a show? Because it sure is not on my radar.
It is, and the early Total Divas days, and I know that sometimes the episodes can be maybe a little scripted, written. I don't know. It's what the word is.
It's fake reality TV because it's not real TV.
Yeah, but they had some heat too, so I'm like, maybe this is a play off that. Like now they're friends and they have something to prove.
Maybe. To be honest,
do we need another new tag team though in the women's championship run though?
Yeah, the women's champions, they were on tonight too. I was going to say the only reality TV I ever watched was Ed TV, and that was more real than a lot of the reality TV that's on now with Matthew McConaughey, who was on and Matthew and I will talk about it tomorrow morning, was on the Undertaker Chapter 4 special.
Right.
Yeah, it was amazing. Him and Lance Armstrong. Apollo Crews defeats Shelton Benjamin. MVP and Apollo Crews' ear. I like it. MVP is a heel. Apollo Crews is a face. It's not that MVP is coming after him because he has a belt. He tried before, so that's not an issue for me. The tag team title match, or the tag team match for the WWE title, Bobby Lashley and MVP versus R-Truth and Drew McIntyre. The win by Drew McIntyre and R-Truth.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty much going to happen. There's no way that belt's dropping on that one. Let's talk about the Raw Women's title match. I don't know why they went to a countout last night, but Nia Jax and Asuka had a redo tonight. Now, very interestingly, and I'm glad that the announcers acknowledge this, the referee, after being shoved down by Nia Jax, is about to disqualify her, sees Asuka roll up Nia Jax, gives a quick 1, 2, 3, and it's over. Now, no matter what, because in WWE, wins and losses don't necessarily matter, Nia Jax was going to lose that match. She was not going to win that. Are we getting something out of this as well? Maybe there's a love triangle going on between Nia Jax and this referee? I don't know.
John Cone, perhaps. I mean, there hasn't been many shenanigans with refs lately in the WWE, so that could be a different take on that. Or it could just be more fuel to Nia Jax's fire. I don't know, but
Who knows?
I mean, we saw Charlotte again tonight, and
Charlotte talking to Rick, really, I think Charlotte was just on to be on. Rick was there for the Randy Orton segment, which came up at the end here again. Christian versus Randy Orton, and really happened. Big Show talking to him. Big Show obviously came out to help out the Viking Profits against the Ninjas and Akira Tozawa. Randy Orton wins, technically, even though it was unsanctioned. There was a ref, there was a ring announcer, there was inside the ropes, there was a bell ring for the beginning and the end and the pinfall, and other than that, the match was fine. But I mean, overall, Raw was okay. I mean, I was happy watching it. I enjoyed watching it. It was interesting to me. I mean, if we're grading it, I'll give it a 77 out of 430. If we're grading, I'll give it a. There was this one time we did a pay-per-view recap. Matthew Thomas and myself did this, and I don't remember who it was, but we kept changing the grading scale on this particular caller that we had. And I think he was in on it too, because all right, let me ask you something. On a scale from blue to green, what do you think this show? It just kept answering. He just kept going. He did not stop. It was fantastic. No, I thought Raw was like a B, maybe. B minus. It is the COVID era, so the standard's pretty low, but I was entertained.
Yeah, me as well. Like I said, I was more invested in tonight's episode of Raw than the pay-per-view, but again, from start to finish, I mean, with Orton starting it and Orton ending it, we saw that, evolution is for life, and
Yeah,
we'll see what's next for Randy Orton. Let's see
absolutely.
which legend is next that he
Well, I mean, they got to
kills.
start finding them. Hey, folks, again,
Right.
we love that you're joining us in the morning and hanging out with us. We got back-to-back Linda Monday and Tuesday. So, I mean, you never know what's going to happen. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to all the podcasting channels, if you will. Make sure you get in where you fit in. So, for the lovely Linda Kay, who thankfully filled in for a missing David here. I think Dave is mad. Even though he's in second place, I think he's mad because honestly, he's not first place. So Dave was off doing something else. Who knows? But for Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. Thanks for stopping by. So long, everyone.